Christmas is over. The NFL season's almost done. We're about to hit the playoffs. The bowl season's hot and heavy right now, and soon people are going to be jumping into draft season, getting ready for the NFL draft, getting ready for them rookie drafts as well for Dynasty Fantasy Football. The hot prospect everyone's talking about, and we talked about him a ton on this channel already, is Bijan Robinson. He is the 101 in all formats. This is unanimous across a lot of different content creators, websites, and everything else when it comes to fantasy football. This is where the market's stating him at, and we've been waiting for this for years, since he was a freshman almost, for him to come out for the NFL draft and become a Dynasty Fantasy Football asset. You're going to hear a lot of prospect talk about him in the coming weeks, months, days, whatever, but let's look at him more of a economic standpoint from a macro lens and look at him about how he should be valued and how you should be able to play him theoretically and whatnot among all Dynasty assets. Rookie drafts pretty much plugged in 101 all day in concrete, in platinum, whatever you want to say. He's not going to drop from there. But when you look at the running back landscape right here, gauging from ADP, this is from dynastyleaguefootball.com, things get very interesting here, and you want to look at the landscape of everything. Let's pull up the running backs real quick, and here we are. So RB1 in ADP December, this is recent, within like a week and a half or so. Jonathan Taylor, RB1, about to be 24, had a season with injuries. I love him as a prospect. You got Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne, Christian McCaffrey. For you, where does he fit in this list? Also, when you're looking at this list, where do you think the market's going to fit him in? Where do you think social media is going to fit him in? Where do you think half your league mates is going to fit him in? I've heard podcasts where he's earmarked as the RB1 already. I can understand that philosophy. I have a lot of people I've seen have him top 5, top 3, top 2. And the thing is, I can make a case for him over a lot of guys. He's younger than Jonathan Taylor. He's going to be a top-tier first-round pick. He's got a better prospect profile. Should have a longer leash to run with. Breece Hall, very good prospect. Coming off ACL, though. Could impact him in the next year. Saquon Barkley, 25.8 years old, will be 26 next year. Travis Etienne, good prospect, been looking good, should hold value for a while, but we all know he's no Bijan. Also going to be 24 soon. Christian McCaffrey, older running back. We think he'll have more years left on him. We think he'll last a little longer, but still 26 and a half years old, a little dicey, and we're seeing him drop year by year a little bit. Same with Nick Chubb, same with Austin Eckler. DeAndre Swift, very good, but it's been ambiguous. Ramondre Stevenson jumped up there in value. When I look at Bijan Robinson as a prospect, we're getting this next great running back, this next generational talent that we get like every 5 years or so, maybe every 4 years or so, or whatever it is. But this talent that the market is stating, this player is hot. And when you get a player like this, they will hold dynasty value for years, even if they're not doing well, even if they've been banged up, even if they haven't been productive. That is what's going to make him valuable. You have this chip on your team, even if he's not giving you any productive value, but he's still giving you some market value there where you can just liquidate him, get first round picks or whatever on a drop of a hat once you're done, once you need to upgrade, once you need to patch some holes, whatever it need be for that case. That holds a lot of value. Some of these players on this list here who are getting older can't do that for you because you don't know when that shoe's going to drop. That's what the market's going to look at, and you're going to see them get depreciated in value going forward. Bijan, at the worst, will hold steady for a little bit. He'll hover around the RB 3, 4, 5 range. If things aren't going so well during his rookie season, sophomore year, probably the same thing. You have some time to watch the tea leaves, see what happens, make your move. But when you look at ADP here, when you look at the landscape here, we're about to hit the running back reset where a lot of these guys are going to flip. A lot of these running backs are going to be out of league. Some are going to depreciate. Some of them are not going to hit expectations. And that's just the part of the running back life cycle, really. So when you're looking at that, you're looking at a hot prospect like Bijan, that's only going to allow him to hold value even more, because you're going to have these running backs rise and drop like crazy. A lot of people are going to have trouble analyzing the market. And you got this gold running back here who, even say worst case scenario, is not doing so well and he's in a committee or whatever, he's still going to be a top tier running back in value according to the market. And you're going to want that just in case you went out, just in case you need to patch up some holes. And the upside, we all know, is Jonathan Taylor or more. So you want to hold that. You want that, obviously. That's why everybody's coveting the 101. The one thing I want to pin in here, though, is that Bijan Robinson is bust proof. There is no way he can bust for you in Dynasty, because he's going to hold his value for so long. Even if he's not doing anything, say he never gets a 1,000-yard season in his career in the NFL. He doesn't give you even one RB1 season in his career in the NFL, maybe not even RB2. There's going to be this window after he gets drafted where he's going to be a coveted asset where you can hold him and sell off and see what happens. And if you hold too long to the point he bottoms out, you busted. That's the thing about him. He cannot bust on you because he's already given you this immaculate amount of value that even if it depreciates a lot, you're still getting a shit ton of value. You can still sell first round picks, late first round picks. You can still get things back in return. He can get traded to a different team and people will still want to get him. Things like that was going to happen with them. We've seen this happen with other running backs. We've seen this happen with prospects before. And the thing about this market right here is we're about to hit this running back reset where there's going to be a lot of ambiguity at the running back position with these older backs, running backs getting hurt, some not hitting expectations, some climbing the ladder, all that stuff. And a guy like Bijan holding his value is going to be like a good insurance policy plus upside for your dynasty team, holding a lot of value. But if you hold too long and things are going sour, then that's on you, because you could have sold out for damn near whatever you want. That's what makes him such a great piece in Dynasty right now, is his value so high. Another thing right now is when you're looking to trade away Bijan, say you want to capitalize on that right now, you may not be getting the value you want in return because people look at this asset as so expensive. Like, why would I want to give up the rest of my team? Why would I want to sell away all these pieces where maybe I can just draft a few other running backs and maybe I can get 80 and 90% of his upside and be okay, patch that up and still win championships and be okay with the assets that I got. Maybe I can just win in a different route. Maybe I don't need this top tier prospect. Maybe I'll wait for this asset to get banged up a little bit and then I'll try to kick the tires in on it. Maybe I'll wait for a depreciation of value and then I'll put some chips in. Maybe I'll wait on that. There's just some other things. So you may look in getting the 101 here and you want to sell out, but you try to sell right now and you may not be getting that value. It depends on the market in your league. It depends on the market everywhere else. But once that price gets so high, fantasy managers are going to look at that and be like, you know what? I think I'm good with what I got. I'll trade back, get some more picks or whatever. I'll try and just capitalize on this draft. Maybe I'll get more swings at the piñata. And you know what? Maybe I'll get some good candy that comes out. And maybe I'll patch up this team and I can win in other ways. And I do not need that shiny new object right here. Because there's other ways to win than just trying to get that top tier dog or that top tier player or whatever you want to call it. So that's something you may want to look at. But either way, once that price tag gets so high, even when it starts to come down, when it starts to come down a little bit, you're still going to have an out point to be able to sell out. This is what makes him so lucrative in Dynasty. I'm talking 2026. Even if he hasn't had a 1,000-yard season yet, you're going to still be able to sell out and get something in return that can help you out. And you know what? You did not bust. He did not bust on your team because he held that value on him. You need to look at these as assets as well, not just production players for your lineups. You also need to look at these as assets. You got two things to look at here. Guys who can score your points and guys that can hold value for you to make your team better. And this is one way to look at it. This guy can shoot the moon And on the low, even if the worst comes to worst, you will have the opportunity to sell out and help your team. So no matter what, Bijan Robinson cannot bust on your dynasty team. Only you can bust on him if you look at it that way. And I hold players like that with a ton of value when you're coming out of college because you don't get this every day. And he's going to be very valuable. I think the price is going to increase to the point people can't trade for him. You can't trade for him now, but I think it's going to get higher. I think it's going to get higher when we get closer to the draft. I think it's going to be higher in rookie drafts. I think there's going to be a point where people are going to start to get skeptical, try to find holes in him, and try to knock it down a little bit. But all in all, it's just not going to happen. It's there. He's already plugged in. Some people got him as RB1 right now, right behind Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. That is where he's ranked for a lot of people right now because I've been watching the tea leaves unfold here, and Bijan Robinson's dynasty value is already at biblical proportions. What that means for you is if you got the opportunity to get him, you have an asset that's just going to hold value for a long time. You're going to have an age insulation period here where you can sell out, you can watch what happens, you could do whatever, but as long as you don't hold too long, you're going to be in the green. You're going to be in the money. You're going to get something out of them, and it's not going to hurt you. No matter what happens with Bijan Robinson, he can get injured, he can have bad seasons, he can go to a bad team, whatever happens, you're going to have a window here that's going to be longer compared to a lot of other prospects here that you can analyze, read the tea leaves, and get the opportunity to sell out. That's why I like Bijan Robinson. On top of the film, the data, and everything else, I think he's a great prospect. Of course, everybody does, but I figured Christmas is over. I've been cleaning up the house. It came to my head how he was a bust-proof prospect for Dynasty Fantasy Football because really this value is going to hold on for a bit, and you need to look at this more as an asset opportunity than just a player you're getting. Not just production, but also what value you're getting on the trade market. What's this going to look like 2-3 years from now if X, Y, and Z happens, or A, B, and C happens, or D, C, and F happens? What happens if these scenarios unfold? And if all those happen and your team can still make out, then that's always good to get. But I want to hear your comments down below because this is a macroeconomic theory standpoint over the dynasty landscape of running backs and players and whatnot on how these players should be valued, can be valued in the markets, and things are different. Your league might be different. I may want to hear about how your league would handle this. Some players you can't trade for. Some players or some leagues will just trade like crazy, and the dynamic of the league just changes from week to week. I've been in leagues like that, and those are crazy, but they're also kind of fun too. But I want to hear that below. But make sure you hit the subscribe button on the way out. Really helps the channel. It's also going to help you because I'm dropping lots of Dynasty Fantasy Football content going forward and into the offseason, into the draft season like we did last year. And we're just going to hit these rookie drafts hard. I want to thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.